BBC Radio London. We're going live on the radio.
Today's Live in London guest was born and raised in London, and he has a musical journey that began at age just 11 years old, playing in school bands as a drummer, keys player and singer. Wowzers. Fast forward to today, and Silas Armstrong has been using social media to his advantage. And earlier this year, a viral Instagram reel featuring his music reached over 40 million views, leading to a new community of dedicated fans. And it's been up ever since from there. I mean, it's been on the up for a little while. He joins me in the studio on his birthday, which also happens to be the day of his album release. So welcome along to the studio, Silas. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much for having me.
Excellent. I've got this for you.
Oh.
I'm just handing you over a multicoloured envelope. Do you want to open that?
That's beautiful. Shall I open it now?
Go on. Why not? It is your birthday today, isn't it?
And we love cards, don't we?
And we love cards. So what have you got there?
Happy Cake Day. Oh, love it. Look at that. Beautiful.
So there you go, a little birthday card for you. Silas, before we get into our big chat, we're going to play one of your songs. We're going to play Best Friends. Do you want to just tell us a little bit about this? Because it's a beautiful song. I had to listen to it.
Oh, thanks very much. Yeah, this is a really personal one. I mean, the whole album is, but this one is the last single I released. It's the first one just before the album came out. So it's been out for about 4 or 5 weeks. And it's been really well received, like better than I could have ever expected. I've had many people coming over to me and kind of telling me how the lyrics resonate, which is exactly what I hoped for, because really it's a song about best friends that have somehow sort of lost their way, or maybe at some point in your lives you just took a different direction, and people that people come and go, friends come and go, but sometimes, it's those people that you consider to be your best friends. It's not in a negative sense, it's more in a nostalgic sense that, life happens, things change. And so I think this song resonates with anyone who's lived enough time to have been through something, whether it's a trauma or grief or just even university, job, another job, kids, family, all of these kind of big moments that happen in life that make being a best friend to someone harder to maintain.
Okay, all right, well, thank you so much. So this is Silas Armstrong and his track Best Friends. Congratulations, what a beautiful song. How's it for you when it is on the radio? Because it's had some radio play.
It has, yeah. Thankfully, BBC Introducing were the first to pick it up. So, yeah, that was great. And it's always nice to hear it on the radio. Yeah, I think I guess it gives you sort of the kudos. If you like, you put all your heart and soul into writing a song, recording it. It takes a lot of effort and it takes a lot of time. And then it's actually quite quick when it makes it to radio. It's, a matter of weeks and there it was. So, yeah, very happy.
Well, congrats on that. And you gave us a little bit of insight into that song and it's coming from a personal place. And actually listening to the album, and it's a long time since I've listened from start to finish to an album, but I have done that with yours. And it was a really enjoyable listen, actually. And I think there were some really important themes that you touch on throughout the album, things which I imagine coming from, as you said, a very personal place. So how was it for you writing this? Tell us a little bit about the album, its name and how it has come to being.
So the album's called About Time, which it really is. It's been a long time coming. I've spent my life in bands and playing for other people, and it was only really during lockdown that I found the confidence and the time to actually invest in my own songwriting and taking it seriously, not just the songwriting. I've always written songs, but to then try and package that up. And as an independent artist, I'm writing, I'm recording, I'm releasing, I'm making the music videos. I've got my guys here, my band's with me, my video guys here. We're all friends, we all go way back, and it's a labour of love, but the album itself, I think it's a form of therapy for me, writing music. I mean, some of the songs come out in the middle of the night. The one we're going to play live in a minute, I literally wrote at 3 a.m, and it came to me. I woke up, wrote the lyrics down, I could hear the melody in my head, and then that morning when I woke up, I just got to the piano and and it came out, and it was fully formed within 30 minutes. I mean, that doesn't happen all the time, but when it does, you kind of know you're onto something good.
Yeah, I love that. I was talking to a bit of a name drop here, Dave Stewart from Eurythmics a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking about the fact that when him and Annie Lennox put a song together, if it took them any more than an hour, then they would stop, and some of their biggest hits came to them in that short space of time. So it sort of sounds a little bit like what you have just described. You know, some of these things come to you really quickly, and those are the ones which really resonate, I guess.
Yeah, and Best Friends was the same, actually. It was, I guess you feel like you've struck gold when you first begin, and you just, everything else stops, and you're in the zone. And sometimes that's happened to me on the tube or on the bus. I actually find a lot of times when I'm commuting, it's quite an inspirational place, because there's this whole world around you going on, and I just put my headphones in and I will get my phone out, and all my lyrics are in my notes in my phone. Yeah. And that's where a song starts. And then it's only when I get to the studio, and that process takes a little longer than half an hour.
Yes, of course.
But yeah, I'm lucky to have a little bedroom set up at home, so I can record at least the vocals and the keys and the drums myself, and then I've got various friends that I can kind of pull in.
Shouts out to Patrick.
Shout out to Brixton Chamber Orchestra as well.
Yes.
I mean, that's been a great source of musicians that I can call upon.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned them, because you were first on my radar as an individual, also as a singer, as an artist, as a result of Brixton Chamber Orchestra, who I had on my former show, The Scene. So tell us a little bit about what you're doing with them now, because you are a vocalist, one of their vocalists now as well.
Yeah, well, we're really good friends. I stumbled upon them on a council estate in Brixton during the lockdown when there was nothing else going on, literally just walking around, and I heard this classical music, and I just assumed that there was someone blasting classical music from their speaker on a balcony, and I turned a corner and there was a full-blown orchestra just right there on the estate. Wow. And then the next thing I knew, a rapper came out and they went into a Dizzy Rascal tune, and my mind was blown. So I knew I wanted to be a part of it somehow. I just didn't know how. And I approached them originally as a singer-songwriter and wanted to collaborate and write music or arrange one of my tracks for an orchestra. And then 2.5 years later, I'd ended up being their marketing manager and working really closely with them for a long time, and introducing them to you.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of come full circle. We've worked together on various tracks of mine, which are yet to come out. That's exciting. And I got to perform with them live at the Lambeth Country Show earlier this year in June, which was an audience of thousands and a massive stage that Rita Ora had been on the week before. And I mean, that was just an incredible experience to be on stage with a 40-piece orchestra in front of, friends, family, and a whole bunch of strangers was, kind of a dream moment.
A dream moment. Okay. Speaking of dream moments then, so your musical journey, as I mentioned, began when you were just 11. And so I can imagine then, or tell me if I'm wrong or right, as an 11-year-old is this what you were hoping for, being in radio stations, playing live music? Did you anticipate that you would get to be a singer-songwriter and actually doing the thing?
I did. It's a hard one to say. I definitely had the dream. I mean, at the time, it was more. When I was 11, it was pop star, and then by the time I was 15, it was rock star, and then by the time I was at uni, it was like, okay, I'm into drum and bass and dubstep now. Like, what does that mean for my musical career? Do I become a producer? I think I've tried so many different hats, and I think the main one was I was a drummer for like 13 years in one main band and then a bunch of other bands afterwards. And then I moved to playing keys and I sang backing vocals when I was a drummer. I sang backing vocals when I was a keyboard player. I got to play Glastonbury, Reading, loads of great festivals. I've toured Europe, but it was always in someone else's project. And I think the bit that was sort of niggling away at me was like, I know I've got these songs in me. I just haven't found whatever it was I needed that push. So I kind of feel like a late bloomer, and actually one of my biggest inspirations is Ricky Gervais, who I know it's a quote that he's taken from somewhere else, but write about what you know. That's a really key part, and it took me a long time to figure out who I was before I was confident enough to put that to song. And I always wanted to write songs for other people, and I learned a lot about writing songs by trying that. So I go, I'm going to write an Adele song today. I'm going to write a Miley Cyrus song, and kind of try and write in their styles. And that really helped me sort of hone my craft as a writer and as a lyricist. And then eventually themes started coming out that were just so personal to me that I thought, I can't write this. I mean, the song we're about to perform, when I first wrote it, I was like, this is Adele or Demi Lovato. There's a bit of Miley in there. But the lyrical story is so close to to home that I kind of went, no, I've got to release this. This has got to be one of mine.
I love that. Okay. You mentioned there that you found yourself enjoying drum and bass. And actually, when I was listening to the album, there are so many different influences on there, which is something that I really enjoyed. So actually, all of those different areas that you have enjoyed, they have found a way onto your work, haven't they? Onto this project.
They have, absolutely. Like I never wanted to be stuck in one genre, and maybe that was part of the thing I faced when I was in a band. It was like, we're a punk rock band, we're an indie pop band. It was like, this is our lane, let's stay in it.
Yeah.
And it was great for a bit, but after a while, it does get a bit stale or a bit samey. And I just love all kinds of music. I mean, I've worked with an orchestra. I used to work at Ronnie Scott's Jazz Club. That was my first job out of uni. So I've exposed myself on purpose, I guess, throughout my career to as many different styles of music as possible.
Yeah.
And I think that's really helped. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And just let's quickly talk about these 40 million views on this track that went viral. I mean, what was that like, and how did that all occur?
Well, honestly, if it wasn't for my mum, shout out mum, then I wouldn't have known about it. I think she flagged it to me when it was at 2 million views.
Wow.
And then I was like, stop it, this is ridiculous. And then she just kept messaging me every day, 4 million views, 6 million views. And it got so ridiculous, I had to kind of go, okay, I need to take this seriously now. But yeah, 40 million views and counting now. In a really surreal way, you never know when a song's going to go viral. So this is a track I released 5 years ago.
Wow.
It's a cover of Donna Lewis, I Love You Always Forever. Absolute 80s banger, early 90s maybe. And literally the only reason I released it was because when you first enter the world of being an artist nowadays on Spotify and Apple Music and everything, in order to claim your profile, you have to release a track. You can't claim something if you've got nothing there in the first place. So I released it as like a soft release just before Christmas, and I was about to release my first single of my own music in January. So it was literally, it served a purpose so I could get the blue tick on Spotify. And little did I know that that would end up being something this, but I recorded an acoustic version of it 6 months later. That went out on an acoustic EP, just vocals and piano, and that was the version that got used on this video because it was, I guess, more emotively sort of fitting for the video that went viral.
Wow. Well done, and brought so many more people to your music, and so you're now enjoying that, I'm sure. And so tell us then about the song that we're going to hear, Deluded. Deluded,
yeah. This is, honestly, I've said it already, but it's one of those songs that I feel like it wrote itself, and at first I thought, this is too big for me. Like this is like this is an Adele or a Demi Lovato, like someone with serious pipes needs to sing this song. And somehow I've managed to find the voice to do it. But it wrote itself very early in the morning, and it's about a person who, no matter how many times they make the same mistake, they never learn from it, and it becomes more and more frustrating, and you get to a point where you just realize you can't help that person until they help themselves.
Yeah.
And so you sort of give up. But I guess the song, hopefully you'll hear the emotion in it, that it's a song born out of frustration, with love at the core of it, but also this real like angst. You know, it's a sort of an angry love piano ballad, sad song. So
we're going to hear this angry love piano ballad. So, Silas, do you want to take a swig of your water and make yourself comfortable over by the piano? And Patrick, how you doing over there on the strings? All good? Okay. So our live London session this week is from the fabulous Silas Armstrong, and he's going to be playing his track, which is called Deluded. So when you're ready, you can take it away.
What kind of world do you think this is? Looking through your rose glasses, fill your bubble full of bliss. Well, I'm jaded by every little thing that you do. I gave you a window and opened the door, but you didn't come through. And every misstep that you make takes you further away as you fall from grace. And every wrong piece that you move gets you closer to lose up in this stalemate. You're so deluded, with your head above the clouds, seeing stars, looking out for Cupid. You forget about the pain you cause, 'cause you're so secluded. Well, I hate to burst your bubble, but your ignorance is troubling me. How can you be so deluded? What kind of world are you living in? You're so out of touch, my patience wearing thin. You're fading, becoming just a memory. You're addicted to love, but you let it tear us apart so selfishly. And every misstep that you make pushes me further away and forces more heartbreak. And every foul move you display, I've got it on replay. It's more than I can take. You're so deluded, with your head above the clouds, seeing stars, looking out for Cupid. You forget about the pain you cause, 'cause you're so secluded. Well, I hate to burst your bubble, but your ignorance is troubling me. How can you be so deluded, deluded, so deluded, with your head above the clouds, seeing stars, looking out for Cupid. You forget about the pain, praise God, singing hallelujah, yeah. Well, I'd rather hit the bottle, so thank you for your troubles, I'm through. You're just so deluded, deluded, yeah, you're so deluded.
Oh, fabulous. Fabulous. Absolutely beautiful. Come back over. That was gorgeous. How was that for you, Silas? How was that performing?
That was fun. Yeah, I enjoyed that. I could hear Patrick in my cans. Yeah, sounded good.
That was gorgeous. Well, and really powerful lyrics, like you say. And I just think throughout the album, we get a taste on and an insight into your mind and some of the things that you've experienced or some of the things that you've witnessed. And that was another example of that. So beautiful. Thank you so much for being our Live in London guest artist this week. If people want to find out more, follow you and find out where you're performing and everything like that, where can they do that?
Yeah, Instagram is probably my most used platform, but I'm on them all: TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it now, at Silas Armstrong or at Silas Armstrong Music, and it's SILAS. And yeah, everything's on Spotify, YouTube. You know, if you have a look for it, you'll find it. If you search for my name, there's not many of me out there.
And congratulations on the album release. Lovely, lovely stuff today. And happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. Cheers.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you to Patrick as well on the strings over there. And Silas Armstrong, this week's Live in London guest. Thank you.